22 Facts about the life of Prophet Muhammad and his death. Egyptian origins of Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad, the founder of Islam and a significant religious figure, emerged in the 7th century. He established the third major religion after the rise of Judaism and Christianity. Unlike many other religious leaders, Muhammad forged his creed through warfare after fleeing his birthplace, Mecca, and seeking refuge in Medina, where he later passed away. Similar to Christianity's establishment in Rome, Muhammad succeeded in establishing monotheism among the Arabian tribes, eradicating paganism. Throughout his life, he demonstrated remarkable leadership skills, both as a military commander and a political leader. He possessed charisma, which enabled him to guide his followers toward their objectives. In this video, we will delve into the major events of Muhammad's life, the circumstances of his death, and a recently emerged theory regarding his supposed Egyptian origins. But before we dive deep into these topics, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications to stay up to date with our latest updates. Applause music. Fact number 1. Muhammad lost his father before he was born and his mother at the age of 6. He was born around the year 570 in Mecca, Arabia, as a member of the Banu Hashim clan. Some scholars suggest his birth year to be 568 or 569. His family was one of the most prosperous in Mecca. His father, Abdullah, passed away 6 months before Muhammad's birth. Following Islamic tradition, he was sent to live with a Bedouin family in the desert, as it was believed to be a healthier environment for a child. At the age of 6, Muhammad became an orphan after the death of his biological mother, Amina. He was then taken care of by his paternal grandfather and, at the age of 8, was placed under the guardianship of his uncle, Abu Talib, the leader of the clan. Fact number 2, he married Khadija, his first wife, in the year 595. As a teenager, Muhammad accompanied his uncle on trade journeys, gaining experience as a merchant. Little is known about his youth, but he became a successful merchant and engaged in trade between the Arabian Peninsula and the Mediterranean Sea. In 595, his good reputation led to a proposal from Khadija, a successful businesswoman, who became his first wife. Fact number 3, according to Islamic tradition, the first revelation was made to Muhammad by the Archangel Gabriel. Muhammad developed a habit of praying in the cave of Hira near Mecca for several weeks each year. Muslim tradition maintains that in the year 610, the Archangel Gabriel appeared to him in the cave and commanded him to recite several verses. This revelation troubled Muhammad, who found solace in the reassurance from his wife and his Christian cousin, Waraka. He also feared being accused of possession. The first revelation was followed by a 3-year pause during which he felt restless and intensified his spiritual practices and prayers. The revelations resumed, calming him, and instructing him to begin preaching. Fact number 4, he started preaching and gaining supporters and opponents around the year 613. According to Islamic tradition, Muhammad's first follower to believe in his prophetic abilities was his wife Khadija. She became his first disciple around the year 613. He began preaching publicly, but most of the Meccans ignored or ridiculed him. Although he gained some followers initially, his followers were primarily individuals who had lost status in their clans, poor foreigners, and children of merchants. Some scholars argue that opposition to Muhammad began in Mecca when he preached against the worship of idols and the polytheism practiced by the population. However, the Quranic exegesis suggests that his opponents emerged as soon as he started preaching publicly. Fact number 5, he became a threat and faced increasing persecution as his followers grew. Muhammad became a threat to the ruling elite of Mecca and the local tribes whose power rested on the Kaaba, the main place of worship in the city that the new preacher threatened to destroy. The attack on the traditional Meccan religion was particularly offensive to members of his own tribe, who were the custodians of the Kaaba. According to tradition, Muhammad and his followers were persecuted and mistreated by the established powers. Sumayya bint Khayyat, a former slave, became the first martyr in Islam when her master speared her to death for refusing to renounce her new faith. Fact number 6. Many of his persecuted followers sought refuge in Africa in the year 615. Followers of Muhammad fled persecution in Mecca and sought refuge in the Christian kingdom of Ethiopia, marking the first presence of Islam in Africa. Many of these religious exiles returned as Islam gained strength in Mecca, and prominent Meccans converted to the new religion. In the year 616, the leaders of the influential clans, Makhzum and Banu Hashim, declared a commercial boycott against the Quraysh tribe as a pressure tactic to withdraw their support for Muhammad. The boycott lasted for 3 years but ultimately failed. During this time, Muhammad had to limit his preaching to the sacred months when the Arabs observed a cessation of hostilities. Fact number 7. According to Islamic tradition, his famous night journey occurred in the year 620. According to Islamic tradition, in a night during the year 620, a 50-year-old Muhammad experienced the Isra and Miraj, a miraculous journey accompanied by the Archangel Gabriel. The Isra was a night journey on a celestial steed from Mecca to the furthest mosque in the heavens. The Miraj was a journey through the heavens and the inferno, during which Muhammad spoke with the prophets Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, 3 prophets recognized by Islam. Later Muslim traditions state that the journey took place between Mecca and Jerusalem. Some scholars interpret the night journey as a spiritual experience, while others defend its physical nature. Fact number 8. The death of his uncle and clan leader left him vulnerable to his enemies. In 619, known as the Year of Sorrow, both Khadija, Muhammad's wife, and Abu Talib, his uncle who led the Banu Hashim clan, passed away. After their deaths, the family clan came under the dominance of Abu Lahab, an enemy of the religious leader. Abu Lahab withdrew the clan's protection from Muhammad, putting him in serious danger since the law of blood revenge would not apply if he were to be assassinated. Muhammad sought refuge in the city of Taif, but upon finding no protector, he returned to Mecca with the help of allies within the family clan. Fact number 9. He sought protection in Yathrib, the future city of Medina. Yathrib, the future city of Medina, was a city frequently visited by merchants and pilgrims, due to its proximity to Mecca and the Kaaba. Muhammad aimed to find the protection he and his followers urgently needed within this environment. After some unsuccessful negotiations, men from Yathrib showed their willingness to assist him. Yathrib was less hostile, as its population was familiar with the central concept of the Islamic religion, and the prophets were not strangers to them due to the presence of a significant Jewish community. The people of Yathrib believed that the rising new religion could become a competitor to Mecca as a pilgrimage center. Fact number 10. He emigrated unexpectedly to Medina with his followers during the Hijrah in the year 622. In June of the year 622, the Hijrah took place, which was the migration of Muhammad and his followers from Mecca to Medina, a journey of 450 kilometers. This migration was expedited due to a failed plot to assassinate the leader. A committee composed of representatives from the 12 most important clans in the city of Medina invited the esteemed religious leader to become the primary arbitrator of their community. Before 620, Yathrib had experienced a century of conflicts between Arabs and Jews, with recurrent clashes leading to interclan killings following the tribal law of an eye for an eye. The mediation of a fair-minded man and an outsider like Muhammad seemed the most suitable candidate for restoring peace. Fact number 11. He established the Constitution of Medina in exchange for his arbitration. The elite of Medina offered allegiance and protection to Muhammad as one of their own. One of the initial decisions made by Muhammad in his new city was the establishment of the Constitution of Medina, which united and federated the 8 local tribes with the Meccan emigrants. The aim was to end long-standing grievances between the Medina tribes and facilitate the integration of the Meccans. The constitution had a religious perspective and specified the rights and responsibilities of all citizens and communities, including Muslims, Jews, and other people of the book. Fact number 12. Armed conflict began with the seizure of properties belonging to his followers who had migrated to Medina. Islam experienced rapid growth in Medina, starting with the conversion of weaker clans and continuing with widespread acceptance by the pagan population. The converts to Islam who provided refuge to the Muslim emigrants from Mecca in Medina came to be known as Ansar or supporters. However, the followers of Muhammad who emigrated to Medina lost their properties in Mecca, leading to confrontations. The leader recited verses, later incorporated into the Quran, justifying the Muslims' struggle against the Meccans. Fact number 13, he received a divine revelation to pray facing Mecca. According to Islamic accounts, on February 11, 624, while praying in Qibla Mosque in Medina, Muhammad received a revelation from God instructing him to pray while facing Mecca instead of Jerusalem. Immediately, the new direction was adjusted, and his accompanying followers also followed suit, establishing a tradition that is followed by hundreds of millions of Muslims worldwide. Meanwhile, Muhammad ordered his followers to attack Meccan caravans. In March 624, he personally led a force of 300 warriors to raid a caravan. The Meccans sent a protective force, and on March 15, the Battle of Badr took place, marking the first major battle in the 6-year war between Muhammad and his tribe of origin. Fact number 14, he emerged victorious in the Battle of Badr. Muhammad emerged victorious in the Battle of Badr, despite his army being outnumbered 3-1. They inflicted 45 casualties on their opponents. The leader and his followers saw the triumph as a validation of their faith by God, and Muhammad mentioned that he had been aided by an invisible force of angels. The victory solidified his position in Medina, and fewer voices expressed doubts about his leadership or spoke against him. 2 pagans composed offensive verses against the Muslims and were killed by members of their own clan, with Muhammad not disapproving of the killings. Fact number 15, he was injured in the Battle of Uhud, the first major battle he lost. Some historians argue that during this time, Muhammad expelled the Jewish tribe of Banu Qaynuqa from Medina, while other sources indicate that the expulsion occurred after his death. The elite of Mecca was eager to restore their tarnished prestige after the defeat at Badr. They led an army of 3,000 men to attack Medina. The Battle of Uhud took place on March 23, 625, resulting in Muhammad's first significant defeat as a military commander. 75 Muslims, including Hamza, Muhammad's uncle and an early martyr of Islam, were killed in the battle. Muhammad suffered severe facial injuries and was mistakenly reported dead, which demoralized his followers. However, several women later rescued and treated him in a cave. Fact number 16, he ordered the death of Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, the leader of the Jewish tribe Banu Nadir, and expelled them to Syria. However, the Meccan attack failed to achieve its objective of destroying the Muslims, and the survivors returned to Medina after burying their dead. Muhammad adopted a strategy of preventing the formation of alliances against him, often resorting to bloody measures to abort them at their early stages. Thus, Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, the leader of the Arab Jewish tribe Banu Nadir, who was expelled a year after the migration to Medina, was assassinated. As this deportation took place without bloodshed, Muhammad claimed the properties of the expelled tribe in Syria in the name of God. Fact number 17, he practiced trench warfare for the first time in Arabia. Abu Sufyan assembled an army of 10,000 men to besiege and subdue Medina, defended by only 3,000 Muslims. On this occasion, Muhammad employed trench warfare for the first time on the Arabian Peninsula. This strategic approach is believed to have been suggested by Salman the Persian, an Iranian convert to Islam. The Muslim tactic surprised the Meccans, who, after an ineffective siege, decided to withdraw empty-handed. This clash is known as the Battle of the Trench. The Arab Jewish tribe Banu Qurayza had supported the Meccans, and the Muslims decapitated the men and enslaved the women and children. Fact number 18, he pardoned his wife Aisha from an accusation of adultery. Mecca was severely affected by the failure of the siege on Medina, and its trade with Syria collapsed. After the Battle of the Trench, Muhammad made 2 trips to the north. Upon returning from one of these trips, his wife Aisha, whom he had married in 620, was accused of adultery, a crime punishable by death. However, she was exonerated when Muhammad claimed to have received a divine revelation about her innocence and insisted that the accusation be supported by 4 eyewitnesses. Fact number 19, his first unsuccessful pilgrimage to Mecca led to a truce with the Meccans. In the month of Shawwal in the year 628, Muhammad ordered his followers to prepare for a pilgrimage to Mecca, prompted by a divine command received in a dream. They managed to reach Hudaybiyah, a village on the outskirts of Mecca, after which negotiations began to gain access to the city. Muhammad wanted to enter the city peacefully but was aware of the danger it posed and asked his followers to prepare for a final battle. Eventually, the Muslims and the leaders of Mecca, headed by the Quraysh, signed a 10-year treaty that included a cessation of hostilities, the postponement of the pilgrimage until the following year, and the return of Meccans settled in Medina who wished to return. Fact number 20, Medina was strengthened by the truce. While many Muslims initially considered the postponement of the pilgrimage almost a defeat, Muhammad convinced them that the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was a victory, as proven in the aftermath. The truce allowed Medina to grow stronger, and the rituals of their pilgrimage impressed the Meccans. Muhammad was treated as an equal in Mecca. Taking advantage of the 2-year Hudaybiyah truce, Muhammad launched a campaign against the Banu Bakr tribe, who were receiving support from Mecca. Tensions between Medina and Mecca escalated, and the Meccans faced a dilemma: to repudiate the Banu Bakr, or break the truce. They chose the latter option. Fact number 21, he conquered Mecca in 630. In the year 630, Muhammad attacked Mecca with 10,000 warriors and took the city with minimal casualties. He displayed magnanimity by granting amnesty to opponents accused of serious crimes, and the majority of the Meccan population embraced Islam. The Muslims destroyed the statues of the Arabian gods in the Kaaba, but it is claimed that Muhammad himself prevented the destruction of paintings and frescoes depicting Jesus and Mary. However, another version suggests that the destruction of symbols from other religions was complete. Fact number 22, he granted relative independence to the Bedouins after the conquest of Mecca. Muhammad conducted a successful campaign against the hostile tribes of Banu Hawazin and Banu Thaqif, who posed a threat to the Muslims. He ordered the destruction of remaining pagan idols in eastern Arabia and subjugated Taif, the last city in western Arabia that resisted. Taif surrendered, but Muhammad demanded that its inhabitants convert to Islam and allow the Muslim warriors to destroy the statue of the goddess Allot. Many Bedouins submitted to Muhammad, and he allowed them to maintain their nomadic independence and traditions as long as they recognized the sovereignty of Medina, and paid the Islamic religious tax. Islam has over 1.6 billion followers, making it the world's second largest religion, and it is experiencing significant growth compared to the other major Abrahamic religions. We hope you found this video informative. If you have any additional insights to share, please comment below. Don't forget to like this video and share the link with your family and close friends, so they too can learn about the 22 aspects of Prophet Muhammad's life and his passing. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We'll be back soon with more curiosities from history.